I want to talk about a subject that is something I think most middle Americans find themselves facing. Again, this is going to be targeted toward more of the average and middle Americans who have really found themselves in this exact experience. So if you don't relate or resonate, then this message is not for you. We're born into a society, we are born into a culture, we are already being born into an experience that we didn't choose, and more often than not, the people that I'm speaking to are either children of baby boomers, or they are children of immigrant families that have came to America legally in the right way to persevere and to really try to give their family a better experience. And so I'm gonna go in two different directions here, so stick with me because both are really genuine and have objectivity here. Let's just take the baby boomers for one moment here. Most of those in that generational experience had parents. Again, we are speaking to the baby boomer children, right? The parents of them were usually one person worked in the household and the other parent, usually the mother, would stay home and care for the child and foster and develop and nurture those relationships. And they even had many children at that time. That was just the culture, the era, and like the world at that point in life. And that was a good thing because they had their parents, right, to experience what it was like, right, or to have set the example, right, in their perspective. And that's all good. Nothing's wrong with this. I'm just trying to bring some context to some real serious issues that we are all facing today, just to bring some contextual understanding so that we can all be on the same page. Now, before I go into my other thoughts, which I will be toggling back between two different concepts here, I want to say this, please. The point in these two thoughts are not to be separately exclusive. They're actually to bring some common ground and to really unify the concept that I'm going to be making here. So let's get right into it. My point is that I would be considered at the age of the children of the baby boomers. Okay, so my parents would be classified in the baby boomer age range. Okay, at the same time, so I fit two pieces of this story here. So I'm also the child of a baby boomer. At the same time, I'm also a child or a product of where both of my grandparents came from different countries. So I have family from two countries, Italy and Mexico. Yes, I am 50 Italian and Hispanic. So I had family come grandparent level, or generational level. My grandparents came. I just feel that I can speak on this topic because I've actually witnessed and experienced in life the whole two dynamics. And so let's just get into it. So on the one avenue, the baby boomer adults who have had children like myself, right? Or not me, but like I'm the child of them. They have lived lives where they were trying to just survive. They have been in survival mode for a long time because those who wanted to really upgrade their family experience they really had to have two household incomes to really persevere and push through and be resilient against all the odds. And that's very important to notate, because unless you were born into wealth and a lot of income and money, then you didn't have those luxuries. And so most people who are parents of these, who are the baby boomer parents, like I'm the child of them, but they're gonna understand this because they had to have two incomes now to really come together to just have. Okay, so now on the immigrant side, where both parents have to work, right? And all they can do is just survive, right? And just figure out how to just keep afloat, okay? And so the children of both these two parental experiences, both baby boomer children and immigrant children, they are both witnessing the same experience. And the parents of these two pieces are actually in the same dynamic. You wouldn't think so, but they are, because all they are in is just survival mode. They are in just trying to like either put themselves ahead of the curve in some way, so they both have the same agenda. And this is the piece that most will not connect, but I can connect this piece because I've witnessed from two experiences, and I'm a very observant person, so I just know what they're both experiencing. I've witnessed it from friends and family, and it's just what it is. So let's get down to the truth now. So they are both facing survival in different ways, but they're still facing survival. And let's not forget, we've got a massive amount of baby boomers, right? And they've had children. At the same time, we've had a lot of immigrant people come in from many countries, and they're having children too, right around the same time the baby boomers are coming in here. So the children around my age are facing these same components, the same dynamics are playing to a T of they're being faced with watching their parents go through survival mode over and over again. What this whole entire survival mode has done to this big component of the middle class, or at least a big chunk of the middle class, what it has done in the macro view that no one's even addressing, but I will totally address this. What's happening is that on a large mass scale, we are losing actual intelligence, or the better way to say this would be like consciousness. And I do not mean disrespect at any level, because I am somebody who is deeply involved with the evolution of humanity and consciousness, and so this is the last thing that I even care to talk about, but I know there's an important piece that must be addressed, because this is continually affecting the new generations that are coming from the offspring of the baby boomer children, or the children of the immigrant families who are now like in my age range, that are having kids. And I'm not here to dissect I'm not here to like try to like figure out what and how, but I am here to at least bring cognizant awareness, because here is where we all miss the ball completely. We have so many offspring, regardless of they are from a production of baby boomers or immigrants, who are in the range of age I'm in, and it's probably even goes latter to me, but like the point that I'm referring to is here that we have so many children, right, who may or may not, depending on other variables and factors, they may not have the best head on their shoulder. If they are very fortunate and lucky, whether they had other circumstances or their own personal psychology or like genetics, wonderful. But we don't know that. And here is the point. Here is the point I am trying to make, is that there are so many children. I'm not a child, but there are so many children that we can all recognize that are our age or even like older and younger that have just not fully developed where we would imagine them to develop. And we want to just bash the parents. We want to just bash or their experience. We don't know them. We cannot identify with them. That's not our place to do so. But here's what I can bring into context that I do notice. As a society, as a culture, as a humanity, as a collective, we do have a right. We do have a voice to help position. We have a obligation to position all of us, including me, right? But everybody, we are together. We all have a stake in this process, because if you live a life of just self-centeredness and you're not about the collective, then you aren't really in this conversation. So I am talking to those who understand the full gamut right here, the collective conscious. We have an obligation to help further humanity. We have an obligation to help advance the ball. And if we don't do our part, no matter where you are in the spectrum, there's no judgment here. It doesn't matter if you're high on the spectrum or low. The point is, what are you doing? What are you doing? If you are aware, if you are a human being who has emotional intelligence and you are aware, what are you doing to help advance the ball for humanity? I know I can get passionate, so I do apologize for my intensity. I am a Scorpio. Yes, I am. I am a full-blooded Scorpio. But on the positive side, I'm a very evolved Scorpio. I am not a low-level Scorpio. So let's get back to business here. What I notice a lot is that all the current generations who are in the current workforce, who are evolved in the workforce, I am not referring to those barely entering. I am talking about those who have been in the workforce for, over 10 years, 10 to 20 years in the workforce. That would equivalent to be those who are children of baby boomers or immigrants who came in the influx, okay? So here we go. We have all these people here. So these children are only seeing one thing. What they are seeing is just their parents continuously just work and work for ungodly hours. And both parents, because the ones who are already here, right, who want to continue to develop the children from what their parents were able to move them toward, they want to continue to foster that environment. The only way at this point, with the cost of living and the raise of inflation, is to have two parents working, and not only doing that, but now they're working so many hours just to make this work. And now the immigrant parents, they are parents who have no understanding in how this entire country works. But what they do know is that the harder they work, the more opportunities they will have for themselves and for their offspring, okay? And so along with that process comes madness when it comes to work ethic. They are going to invest everything into how they work, how many hours they work, what they're doing. They are gonna be like crazy with we're working, right? And so what does that also tell the children of these offspring, right? They're here, they're having children, let's not forget this. And the sad truth, and yes, I say sad truth because the reality is that we have all these children who are a wide range of age. I mean, I'm in my early mid-30s, and I will tell you this for sure. There are so many people, even older than me and younger than me, who are emulating, which means mimicking what their parents showed them, not because they were taught, but because that's all they knew. It's how they witnessed the world. So of course, when you have children, they're going to naturally just mimic and emulate you, right? Even if you want it or you don't, they're going to take on the traits they see the parents have, good and bad. And I know this is probably too much, but we do have responsibility. We really do, to take charge of who we are, because beyond just who our peers, our colleagues, our family and our friends, there are people who are looking toward us for direction. They're looking toward us for guidance on so many levels. And if you are a public figure, and if you are somebody in authority, if you are somebody in the public eye that people respect and hold accountable, you have more of a duty to really show up, because the generations of the future are counting on you. I can only hope that one day as a collective and as a humanity, as a species, because we are all that we have, and we continuously fight for the wrong reasons. We continuously come together sometimes for partial pieces. We come together, we know how to unite, but where does that go from there? We lose parts because we have differences of opinion, and we just it's despairs. It just falls apart. But we're better than that. I know we are. We have so much. We are amazing. We forget that we are, but we are amazing, and we need to remember who we are. I know it took me so long to get the concept here, but here is the end, okay? We are all living in survival mode, and we forget that there is more beyond life, beyond survival. I know this sounds so simple and so elementary, but this is real. This is so real, because this is real. Most humanity, most individuals, they are living in survival. What that means is that they are living in just a state of flux. They are reacting to life. All they are doing is just showing up to work and performing the piece of their job, and clocking in, clocking out, and just robotic. This is not the point for humanity, and this is my entire concept here. I know it took so long here, but this is the truth. We were never born to be less than. We were never born to be subpar. But yet we operate on this wavelength that's not even real for us. And let me explain. We are just conditioned to the T of this is how life is, this is how it's supposed to work, and just conform, pay your bills, show up for work, clock in, get your paycheck, and just go home and just go go to sleep. See, that's the problem. They want you to go to sleep. They do not want you to think. They don't. The moment you think is the moment you awake. They don't want that. So we are all sharing the same struggles. We all face, and we are constantly being faced with these same struggles, but nobody wants to talk about them because people are ashamed. They don't want to admit or acknowledge to anybody else their hardships, their challenges, their adversities. So we're all just in these bubbles, but that's so wrong. Like, why are we doing this to ourselves when we are the mass collective who have the ability to actually transform and to actually figure it out, but yet we are hiding. We continue to hide and go behind the scenes, and we're not willing to just come out. Why? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but here we are. When I say coming out, I do not mean on Instagram. I'm not opposed to that because I also use it myself, but let's just be real. Sorry, I have I don't care. Let's just be real. When you're on YouTube and when you are creating real videos that people are going to watch, it doesn't matter how many views you get. What matters is that, what are you saying? And is what you're saying, does it matter in the bigger picture? Is it resonating at a higher level? Is it doing something beyond you? It's beyond your ego. It's beyond your exterior. It's just, is this? So yeah, just all right, let's just get back to what I was trying to talk about earlier. I could easily edit this piece out, but I'm not going to because I think that it's okay. The conversation is actually not a bad thing. I'm hoping not, but okay. So, as we know, we have two groups of people who are facing the same common denominators. And they're facing them from different angles, but they're still facing them. The two have no idea they're facing them, but they are creating offspring who are now adults, who are now having to handle the ramifications of these two experiences. And what does that now look like? Let's be fair here. Right? So now we've got two different offsprings, but facing similar experiences. And we want to categorize them differently, but there's no reason to do that because they're in the same dynamic. And now we have children who both in the two dynamics feel that they are less than because they were never given the emotional and psychological and mental and the support, the natural embracing support that most children should have if you have been maybe in America, quote unquote in America, for previous generations, because you would have more of an ability to have just stability. You would have ability to have stamina and positioning that you would normally not have if you are the first time as a baby boomer or as an immigrant. You're gonna face more uncertainty, and the prior generations did not face that, and this is why we have all of the situations we have today. I don't want to say chaos, but this is you may ask me where we go from here. I don't have the answers. I'm sorry. I didn't try to lead you the wrong way. All I am trying to do is bring awareness and attention to where we really are and bring the cognizant intelligence here, because here are the facts. I'm not saying we have all the facts, But I am saying that here are some common denominators that we must be looking into if we want to really help evolve us consciously. I'm invested as a soul, as a human being, to help us advance the ball for humanity. Absolutely. And that's why I'm having this discussion. And I hope that those can resonate and can bring forth their information, their intelligence, and let's come together. Yes. My goal is just ultimately that we come together as a group, as a collective, that we try to shine the light where we can, and that we do what we can with who we all are, with what we currently have, and make the most of that, because there's not one person, there's not two people. It's a process that we will face as a collective. It's all of our jobs. It's all of our jobs. It's all of us. I know it's hard for people to imagine that we all accept responsibility, but that's how it goes. Yes. It's up to all of us to really come together and fight for the bigger